Chill it out. Yo, what's up, guys? This is Ether,
This is the Juan and Only.
and we are just gonna kick it. We're talking about the Banlist. It came out recently, and we have some thoughts. At the end of the day, um, honestly, I hate to say it, but it kind of felt a little underwhelming. What do you think?
I personally liked it a lot. I've been seeing a lot of negative feedback from it. I feel like they did a good job hitting the stuff that the community wanted to hit. I mean, they hit Harold. I think everyone was saying hit Harold, please.
Harold was like the ultimate floodgate, and it bridged into Mitsu, and it was just like crazy.
And then they hit the water statue, I think. I think we
torrent.
all saw that coming.
It should have been hit along with the other barrier statues in the last list. I don't understand why they're just like slow rolling. It doesn't have to be that way, Konami. You can just hit the cards, get rid of them.
Konami, what are you doing?
I'll leave like a picture of it or something like this. It'll probably cover our faces, whatever it is.
And then we also have the Harold Malice Widebinder. I thought that was a very interesting take.
No, I think they actually hit it right on the nose because Red Ransom, what they did in Master Duel, it was like
it
was
not
a
work.
slap on the wrist. It was like, you don't need extra consistency. You literally have a soul charge built into the extra deck with Whitebinder, and being able to recur the traps. I think that was perfectly fine. Whitebinder should have been the hit to begin with. Red Ransom, and even at this point, like if people are still just on it, you might as well just also hit Red Ransom, and then that way the only thing that you can really do is just go into Cryptor.
It's just kind of link spam into link 3.
Yeah, that's basically what the deck does. Is it just makes Cryptor and then hope it sticks.
I agree. I think between Whitebinder and Red Ramson, I think there's a clear direction of like where the cards want to go as you're building your combo, and I think Whitebinder is just the more oppressive one. Like you said, it's a recharge on your opponent's turn, on your turn again when they pass.
It's so crazy.
You get to reset your interruptions. It's just crazy. I think Konami did it very correct with these hits.
The last one that we did miss is Harpy's Featherstorm.
Another great hit. I think everyone was asking for this as well. Everyone was putting either rank 4 Wing Beast or some random synchro to just thrust it into it or something.
I'll tell you, man. Like, because coming into this next format, we have Tri Brigade, which is Wing Beast. We have Radiant Typhoon, which is Wing Beast, and just there's no reason why the card existed should have continued to exist through Yugioh format, through anything else, because at the end of the day, it's a Floodgate light card. Who wants to deal with that shit?
Yeah, I agree. And I'm glad they did it right. Instead of, hitting it to 1 and then seeing what happens. No, they just went straight from 3 to ban. That was the best decision. Good on Konami.
Yeah,
good job.
Yeah, we're hoping that with all the communication and with everything else going out, they're honestly really doing a lot better from 2025. 2024 was like a little iffy, but I mean, we're finally like catching up. The community is saying what they need, and then Konami is addressing it.
Yeah. Are there any hits you think that they should have hit? Yeah.
Oh man, to be completely honest,
I personally think they should have hit Dracotail a little harder, but I don't think they should have banned.
I don't know if there's anything that was ban worthy. If we're kind of staying in that forbidden realm. I mean, they could have just banned Branded Fusion.
Oh, no, he's wrong for that one.
No, too much community. You can hit the dislike button for that one. I don't care.
So, and then they hit for me personally, I can't think of anything at the moment. There were a few things that were a bit oppressive in the format. Nothing felt too overwhelming, honestly. We've been to a few regionals in the past few months. It's been pretty quiet, through December, but I never felt like there was a specific strat that was just, hindering everything or anything like that. I think they did a perfect job. I'm sure there'll be, other hits worth mentioning. I can't think of any at the moment.
I can even if I can jump off the idea of like floodgates and stuff like that. Are we really wanting to try to keep those around? Keeping them at 1 just kind of seems pretty sacky. Yeah. Look at what they did to Featherstorm. Yeah. So Rivalry goes in. There can only be 1. All those cards. Yeah. I don't think they really need to be in the format, let alone just in Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Keep those to traditional formats, I guess. And so,
like Tickaboo and VS, right? If you flip it, it just feels like game over, even though it's at 1. But,
they're just sacky cards. They don't really need to be in there. But I think we can all when we talk about all these all these kinds of cards, I feel like we always touch back on every single time somebody talks about floodgates that they did not hit, or at this point, like, what's the only other floodgate that people would really be screaming off the top of rooftops?
Oh man, yeah, no, I can't really think of many off the top of my head. I'm sure there are some. Please comment on what you think should have been hit.
Okay, next thing, the limited section, and I think this is personally, I think they did amazing on the limited, because this helps the format. You know, it gets cleaned up, and we head into all the new decks that are coming out. You know, all the extra support. So we have the first one is Dracotel Mululu. I barely saw a video that Pac was talking about this, saying that this was like a nothing hit.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I personally feel like Phimena should have been hit instead of Mululu. But then again, they don't want to butcher the strat, right? They don't want to outright kill it into next format. They want to keep those sales going. They want to keep Dracotel in the format. I think this just hits it enough where it's not going to be, you're not going to be opening Ketu every time now.
Exactly.
You're not going to be opening Mululu and then like.
Ketu's also on this list. While we're on the subject of Dracotel, Ketu was just one of those cards where my word, I'm sorry, I'm thinking about things, and you know, the editor they'll figure it out. They'll get it taken care of.
Big list, man.
Ketu is one of those cards where it's like the design of it is so nice because it's a good card for going first because it searches you something, but then it gives you a little bit of an additional something, you know?
Oh yeah.
Being able to fusion summon. And so it's like, is it really like that powerful? Like, are we going to create cards that are powerful enough for going second and then just hit them again? Like, is that what the direction that Konami's trying to do in card design? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It sure feels like it. The recent card design, especially after Raizo, we're seeing that most of the main deck archetypes have a built-in turn 0 play, right? We see it in Q tunes that just came out. They have a one that special summons, and then you can quick synchro. Phimena is one of them. The VS one, Holisu. I think it feels like that's the format that they want to go into. They see that going second is very, very hard to win when you're going second, and so they're putting more emphasis on the hand traps. There's so many different, in addition to the sisters, you have now the traps, you have the dominuses, you have so many things, and now just the turn 0 place with your engine itself. I personally really like it. I think it's a good direction that we're going into. We've stepped away from the 50 Omni Negates, which I think I personally like a lot better. Yeah, no, the last format I can remember with that was just Snake Eyes, just slapping on an Appaloosa. Every single time ending on it, it felt really oppressive. It was not a floodgate, but it sure felt like it. I personally like it. I think Ketu, it's a very, very good card, especially going second. Like when you think of cards like Arthalion, that you can grab all the cards from materials used from your hand, and Ketu letting you use everything from the hand. I think that's just absurd. You can literally bounce the whole field with just one card. It's really crazy.
In addition with that, the branded fusion cards that allow, like, you have Blazing Cartesia, you have Incredible Ecclesia, Blazing Cartesia? Is that what I said? Sorry. You have Blazing Cartesia, you have Incredible Ecclesia, all these cards that just return back to the hand after they've been used as fusion material. If one's sent to the graveyard, it's like absolutely absurd.
Yeah. I agree. I think it was good. I personally think Phimena should have been hit over Mululu. Others might disagree, but I think it's still a good hit.
Fair. The next one was Jokel to 1. And I think, I'm
a little biased.
What are your takes?
I'm a little biased because I'm a really big K9 player. I've loved it. I've topped a few events with it. I think it's correct. I think the card is crazy good, but I don't know. I feel like they hit it a bit too hard. Semi-limit feels too soft, but I don't know what else they could have done.
I mean, there's plenty of other cards that people have been screaming, saying that they needed to hit more. Like you could have had Jokel down. You could have had what was the other Azuna? Yeah. People were like saying Noroi should have been the one card that was banned because being able to look at your opponent's hand, rough, man. And in addition, you have Case for K9. So you have 2 copies of Jokel technically that you can run. And I guess one of the things, I'm sorry, my mind is just poof, it's gone. It's really late. we're trying to get things.
Case going to 1.
What was the other card? Gosh dang it.
The one that searches K9?
It was Chaotic Elements. There we go. Thank you.
And the thing, Chaotic Elements can only search Jokel or Lantern. It doesn't search the other 2 names. And so now most people are only maining one Lantern. And so is it worth running one Chaotic Elements for 2 targets in the deck?
Does Chaotic Elements add from grave?
No, or...
I don't actually remember.
Maybe?
We'll figure that out. I'm dumb. I don't know.
No,
I'm a Genesis guy. I'm a Genesis Andy. I enjoy all that. And so K9's not even on the front lobe of my mind. It's been hit way, way too hard.
Genesis enjoyer. You know? Yeah. I am too, but you know what I mean.
No, he's the advanced guy. That's why he's here. He's able to give me the critiques that I need.
I think it was a good hit. I think they hit the 3, Draco Tail. I think they hit Yummy a bit harder than the other decks.
That is true. There is Yummy Snatchy on this as well.
I think they had more tops than the other 2, so maybe fitting. But I think it was a good hit. Joko being able to summon any level 5, if you happen to open your floodgate, you can just summon it right off the bat. I think that's pretty silly, like Spell Canceller or something along those lines.
I mean, you have, I could even name a few things off the top of my head. I know that we have Dragoonity support coming out, and there's a really crazy Dragoonity level 5 that was coming out that was abusing Jokul. You have cards that are, VS. I think if they did not hit VS hard enough on the last list, as we go forward, spoiler alert, Holly Sue's also on this list as a hit to 1. I think that's also a necessary hit to where it kind of sets the deck back a little bit more than people think. Yeah. I see a lot of price trends. People are trying to grab their raisins and their stake your souls back because they think the deck is really powerful. Without Jokul, it's kind of hard. You're really having to you're really running into Droll, and you're running into all these other hand traps using all these other consistency pieces.
The thing is, I think this hit for Joko hits more of the splashable decks rather than the pure K9. I think pure K9 it doesn't need 3 Joko to play. You can play it. Most are playing 2 Lantern, but like the Crystron.
Crystrons. Yeah,
you need 2 Jokels. There's other strategies that I think that's what it hurts more. The splashable engine, and K9 doesn't even feel like a splashable engine. It always feels like K9 was something else.
At the end of the day, Phimena is the discard fusion summon, and Azuna is the card that makes the XEs. Yeah. I still think that's powerful. My take is I think Azuna should have also been on this list somewhere, if not semi-limited, also limited.
I agree.
Because the K9 is, I think the K9 engine was just way, way, way more splashable into other decks, and it makes it so that card design becomes way, way more difficult to create in the future. Yeah. What's the other card on this list? Did we go over everything? Oh, no, I forgot. Habakiri.
Habakiri, everyone's favorite card.
Yeah.
So, I don't know how to feel about this hit, to be honest. I feel in one hand that it does almost nothing because most of the, since it's such a splashable engine, there were many ways to search it. But now that we don't have, we don't have Imp, we don't have Herald, how are we searching Haba outside of...
My first thought is... we still have 3 copies of pre-prep.
Pre-prep is still prayers, I guess.
Yeah, prayers is another thing. It's 7 copies.
Yeah,
which I don't know the percentages off the top of my head, but I think 7 is still like a decent number.
And that's what gets me to my other point. It feels almost like it does nothing, right? Because we still have many ways to get into it. I think we've taken away the splashability of it, or at least you can't bridge into it anymore.
Yeah, you can't have Yummy, you can't have the other things. Once again, we were talking about Herald being banned.
Yeah,
it's now a lot of these decks have kind of gone into their own.
Yeah,
into the decks that are just by themselves, which means at this case you might as well consider the pure version of this deck hit more than just any inability to splash into something else.
I think it's really hard when you think about it, because the small splashable engine is 1 Murakumo, 3 Haba, and maybe Futsu, maybe the little guys. But if you're not running Futsu, you're not running the little guys. Now you're just playing 1 Murakumo and 1 Haba. Mm-hmm. Your prayers targets to search a name just kind of dwindle. Because now you just have 2 ritual monsters. What are your ritual cards searching to summon themselves back from grave? That also hurts that aspect.
Yeah. You don't really want to go. Do you want to max out on Mirakumo? Do you want to max out on Futsu? They just don't do anything by themselves. Quick thought though. Hey, this is Aether. I'm currently editing this video, and turns out a lot of the stuff that we talk about right here is not very relevant. Personally, it's my bad, my mistake. We were talking about a card that was projected to come out in the OCG, but it's not in this set. It's called, I think it's going to pop up. Yep, right here. It's the end of the world ruler or something like that. Yeah, it's not relevant. We'll just skip past this. Thanks for sticking around, though. Enjoy the video. I don't think this is a very good hit at all. At the end of the day,
I agree.
It's probably just sticking around until they sell the next set and maybe sell the structure deck that's coming out, whatever they're planning on doing, and then this card is probably deserved a big bland. It's really, really powerful.
If they really wanted to hit Mitsu, I personally think they should have just limited prayers. I think that would have been a very significant hit. Because when you're not running the the little guys, you're not getting that back. Once you can just summon your guy for one Regeki and that's it. That's fine, But yeah, I think they're doing exactly what you mentioned. They want to sell the structure deck, which I'm excited for, to be honest.
Is there anything limited? Is there anything limited that you wanted to see?
Anything that I would like to see limited? No, I think they did it right. I think they should have.
This was my list. Once again, I'm telling you, I think they hit a lot of these on the nose. The only other card that I would want to have been limited is semi-limited on this list. So more spoilers to come. But Droll is on this list as the only semi-limited card.
Yeah, that's a pretty interesting take. I personally. I have very mixed feelings about the semi-limited list because sometimes they feel very lackluster.
Non-bow.
Like it does nothing. Yeah. And sometimes it feels like, that's the correct card to have it too. Something like Malicious.
Yeah, Malicious was like one of those cards. And Tengu.
Tengu,
right?
yeah.
Reborn Tengu was like another one where it's like, you can only do it so many times.
Yeah.
But now it's like, how much is it really going to be impacting the format? The only thing that comes to mind when I'm thinking about Droll being to 2 and then go to 1, kind of like similar to Max C, is they're trying to see what decks abuse the search mechanic. Like the ability to have so much consistency in a deck that they'll be able to get the full combo regardless. And now that you see Droll less, those ones become more popular.
Oh, I see. I can see that too. Yeah. Droll is a very impactful card. I've been saying this for months, but I think they should make more Charmy Droll. I think that would fix the whole issue. Droll plus full board, it sounds silly. It's so hard to break that. But, if you can only activate something like Droll when you have an empty board, I would be on board with that. If my opponent, drops a Charmy that says you can't search for this return after you search, I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to play against 5 cards instead of 6. I think I can do it. That's fair.
I don't know. I appreciate like Joshua's take. He was saying something along the lines of some sort of card design because a floodgate can't be a hand trap.
Yeah.
Shifter, Maxi, it just like all these prevention like effects, or at least it feels like you're preventing from being able to do anything.
Right.
And so having a shared ride as a hand trap that you can only activate if you have an empty board does seem realistic in my mind.
I'm honestly thinking of citing mistaken arrest because Droll is so impactful in that too, going like first.
2, now we're going to play 5. It's like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I have mixed feelings. Droll is a very, very good card, but I think the whole community wants to see less of it. But I don't know. I feel like it just opens the window for some very degenerate, strategies.
Right. I mean,
but maybe that's good for
We were talking about all these different search cards for Jokul. It's like you're going to see Droll less. It's not going to be that much of an impact to add a little bit more consistency to the card that you need. And the only degenerate combo deck that I can think of is White Forest.
That was my first thing.
Yeah. It's like if you have Droll against White Forest, you might as well be like you might flip them over, fry them, and burn them to a crisp.
Same with Lunalight though.
Lunalight is another thing. Actually, you know what?
Lunalight is scary, man.
We had the craziest crash out from one of our buddies, though. He was like, "Lunalight's gonna be the best deck. It's insane. I'm gonna top the YCS." It was nuts. Like
Joshua topping 300. Be on the lookout for it.
So, but no, I mean, like there's some hard takes to Lunalight. If Droll's less in the format, is this gonna become the next top contender, but at the end of the day, they're still retaliating C. So how are you gonna out that?
Luna Light's very weird, right? Because I feel like at locals we never see it. At regionals we see it maybe 1 or 2 players on it. When we go to big events, it's kind of similar. We see like a few players on it, but
they're the best players.
But they're just the best players, yeah. And if you come across one, you're just praying like, okay, let me get draw, let me get my out to these towers. But yeah, Luna Light I think is one of those decks that just require the right pilot. We used to play it with as a rank 4 spam, and then we played it as a just monster spam, and now it's this fusion towers. And I think if the right person finds the combination of the two, I think just take the deck to the moon.
Yeah, might as well. I mean, I'm looking forward to this advanced format. Not to say that it's going to get me back in. Once again, I'm a Genesis person, and this is my content on here. I'm only preying off of the people that like to watch Banlist videos and people talking about it. But I like Genesis, and whenever one of those lists come out, I want to try to talk about those as well. Besides the point, we'll kind of move on because that's the only card on the list. We'll go to the last one, but these are the unlimits, which are also just like absolutely.
Big list. Yeah, I think these were also bangers. What was the first one that they unhit?
We have Black Dragon Collapse Serpent.
That's right.
And then we have White Dragon Wyvern Burster.
I think this is for the Dragon Link. They're coming out.
Is it support for it?
Maybe.
I don't know.
But that was used before in that strategy with the rockets and all that stuff. Maybe it is. Maybe it's not. I think they were banning that around when the Thunder Dragon Danger deck was going around. And that's not doing anything these days. Maybe it will now, though. The dangers are free, and so is Colossus. But
now Jokel's got to 1. You can't run Azuna. No, okay.
So I don't know. I think it was correct. They're not doing anything. I don't think they're gonna do anything crazy in the format either. White and black can come back. They're fine.
Yeah. Dark Refer is another one of those cards. I was playing it when Orcust very first got their support. I was playing it at 1 because I felt like that card was just still way too broken. Turns out it's awful.
Yeah, it's you're just negging 2 cards and you're like, cool. They ashed my my horror. I guess I'm passing.
Okay, I'll discard to summon it to special. It was a decent extender in its own right, but we just don't run monster heavy cards anymore. Monster heavy decks.
The format shifted a good chunk. I think Nib. But yeah. I didn't even know the card was hit, to be honest. So.
Let's talk about Vanquish Soul. We had Holly Sue get hit to 1, and then they brought back they brought back Raisin and Stake Your Soul.
So Raisin and Stake Your Soul are 3 again, but Holly Sue is at 1. So we gave up 2 cards, Holly Sue, to get 4 back.
The deck is more consistent, still relies on its normal summon. I think it's still relatively powerful. It feels like it's exactly the way that it was back in the day when it very first came out. The only difference is now you can search a Holly Sue. Right?
Holly Sue is a crazy card, man. I personally think VSK9 is going to see play next format. I can almost guarantee it. Jokul at 1 and Holly Sue at 1, I don't think it'll matter much. With 3 Rosin, 3 Stake, you're going to be constantly searching. You're going to have the more fires. You're going to have the 3... what's the level 5 for the VS? I forget his name.
Xiaolong.
The Xiaolong, and I personally think that deck is gonna go off next format, especially with a new K9 support. That just one thing I was thinking, the VS trap lets your monsters not be destroyed by card effects, and so when you nuke with your K9 monster, you still have a board.
Oh my word! Yeah, I'm excited to test for it.
Yeah,
if I'm going back into VS, we were talking to Josh. Yeah. Bless his heart. I wish he was here with us because he was going to want to talk about it with us. But I was going to be like, you know what? Maybe Vanquish Soul would bring me back into Advance.
Yeah. I personally think it's great. I think 1 Holly Sue for 2 Rosin and 2 Stake. I would do that any day of the week. I think that's a perfect. I think pure VS can see play. I think VS Splash with K9 or maybe some other engines we're not thinking of can also. I think Elven Notes even. I don't know.
Oh no, I would like to talk about that, but I feel like there's not a lot of support when it comes down to Elven Nodes. At least anything that's coming off or on the list, all seems pretty relevant. The next card that we can talk about just briefly, Zodiac Trident is now at 3.
Yes.
Also, just like one of those cards, kind of like a Nombo.
I think it was at 1, right? Before it was
at 1.
It was 1. Yeah. Were you playing it? I know I wasn't.
We have a very special locals player that can't drop the deck. It's just Zeus Turbo for him. It's crazy. The next one is, and I think this is mostly for Hekahan support, not like Hekahan support, but like pseudo whatever. But you have Change of Heart and you have Snatch Steal. All those cards are now off the list. at 3. Doesn't seem that powerful.
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about it, to be honest. I feel targeting effects are just very bad in this format. Whenever you go target so and so, there was chain, remove from the field, do something with it, whatever.
Or
so
negate.
Yeah, I feel like targeting effects are just not very good. However, when you can have 6 of them, I think that might be able to do something. You can out a few negates or something. Start playing into their board, and Heck of Hands just being able to slap a monster and cool, I have one of yours. Yeah. Now I can summon a new one, search, go off from there. So I don't know. I have mixed feelings about this. I think at first glance it looks very innocent. But I think there will be some strategies that will just fully take advantage of it. I think we'll see in a few months.
Yeah, and I don't know if this is necessarily the reason why Triple Tactics Talent, holy moly, let me start over. This is the reason why Triple Tactics
Thrust.
Tactics
Talents, yes.
Talent is the one thing, because we still have a thrust at 3, so that's the only reason why it got hit, but it was like 3 effects built into one. It was really insane if your opponent does something. But now you have like, okay, you don't have to do anything. I'm going to attempt to take one thing, attempt to take another, and then fuse into my big boss monster that says, if you remove me, I blow up the field. It's kind of crazy.
Are they once per turn? Either of them?
No, none of them are.
Neither are once per turn. Okay, that sounds kind of scary. Like
it's the same as Regeki, right? Like Regeki is one of those things where it's just like, okay, I'm going to blow up your board. It's a break your board kind of mentality, but it's only one specific effect.
Right.
So what's Konami saying by releasing all the different things that are saying, I'm going to take your card and use it against you?
Yeah.
The last card on here is Crystron Inclusion.
Oh, yeah. I think so. Now Crystron can play more, but more of a pure build. I think
it's all pure. Like I think now that you have all the K9 stuff that's been hit down a little bit, we don't have to worry about it too much. But Inclusion probably shouldn't have ever really been hit.
I agree.
It should have been. What was the other card? If anything, it should have just been K9 cards.
Yeah, and I think they were just a bit too new to hit them, and so they had to go with Inclusion. And I think that's why we're seeing the correction so fast on both VS and this Inclusion hit, is that they just could not hit the new stuff, but they realized that these two meld together are pretty impactful. And so I think they did a good job kind of scaling back on that and giving us back. I'm pretty sure you Crystron enjoyers are just loving that. You have 3 now. It sucks that Joko's at 1 now, so probably not K9 Crystron.
With the type of tournament pack that just barely came out and it got hit to 1 and then it became a super rare. I mean, people who are hoarding the super rares got to run out and get some high rarity stuff. For closing thoughts, anything that you were thinking that should have come off the list, should have went back on, now that we've kind of gathered our thoughts a little bit?
One thing you touched on that I really wish it would have hit, I personally think they should have hit Thrust. I think Thrust should have gone to 1. I don't think it should have been banned, but I think it should have been gone to 1. My initial thought was just for Harpies, but that's been hit now. I can't wait till, what the next floodgate that we find is. Yu-Gi-Oh players will find any and everything if you give them enough time. They'll find some infinite loop. So, I don't know. I know there's a few floodgate cards that, I think some Mitsu players were looking into it, when initially these conversations were coming up. So I think my only thing is maybe Thrust 2-1, but that's the only thing I can think of. I think this list was on the nose. I think it was spot on.
Yeah, I can't really see anything else. Honestly, it seems like it breathes some new light into the format and allows people to kind of innovate, and we'll see what the 300 looks like. I'm going to be excited to kind of...
we're excited to watch that one.
Kind of adjust to all the things that are new and gold, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging around with us and having a little bit of conversation. Let's continue it down below in the comments, and please subscribe.
Hit the like button. Let us know your thoughts.
This is Aether signing out. Peace.